you know, and just let me say, I'd be looking some kind of fabulous today. Good morning. This video was supposed to be about something entirely different. I was on the phone doing a little bit of research, and he gets a phone call from Schuster.
We're swapping trucks in 20-degree weather tomorrow.
Yeah. I really wasn't expecting this until closer to summer, just because of the amount of miles that we have on this truck. But at the driver banquet, I talked to the manager of, well, the shop foreman and the dispatch manager about getting a new truck, because we would still like to have a brand new truck. Apparently they hear I want to get into a different truck now.
Right now, our company policy is that we can't have a new truck because we have pets. So they're going to give me the newest truck that they can. And I don't know if it's an international or a KW.
So we'll see.
So we may be in for a surprise. I don't know.
Yeah, no kidding. Here we go for another move.
What's going on, everybody? Well, I am by myself again. Just done a 34 at the yard. I just switched trucks by myself. They asked me if I wanted to go ahead and switch and get my truck emptied out, cleaned up in one day. Sure, no problem. Absolutely. Well, we got not 20-30 minutes down the road from that phone call. My daughter calls. Won't go into the details, but she needs her mommy. So we stopped in Des Moines, Iowa, put Vanya in a rental car. South she went. So when your daughter calls and says she needs her mommy, mommy goes. So for the next at least 2 weeks, probably, maybe a little shorter, maybe a little longer, don't know yet, I will be by myself. Can't wait for this is hot enough. She left, and then she took the damn Instant Pot. So I can't cook anything. Meanwhile, pause for effect. We've been asked to do video about our relationship and how we've stayed together as long as we have, and now that we're living in such a tiny space, how that's affecting us. Well, me and my wife have been together since March of 1992. I'll let you do the math. If you'd asked anybody looking at our relationship, we shouldn't have gotten married. But we did. And I'm glad we did. I'm still glad we did. She keeps me fat and happy. But trying to answer a question on what keeps us together, we have a traditional marriage. The last 2 jobs she's had, recent jobs, she worked because she wanted to. There was no need to, because you make good money driving a truck. Any given day, I have no idea how much money I have in the bank. I trust her to take care of that. I don't know if that has anything to do with how we stay together, but I don't think it hurts. For starters, and especially since she's come out on the truck with me. But even before that, we talk. And with that, more importantly, when one of us is talking, the other one's listening. It's a proven fact. If this is moving, these don't work. And if you think that's wrong, ask your spouse. We talk a lot. even before she came out on the truck. Factory job, worked at a printing plant. Went in the military. Became a police officer, driving a truck. And she has supported me the whole way because we talk about it first. And I think that's been part of our success. And a lot of it is our stubbornness. A friend of mine, when I was going through military, he told me, your body can quit and your mind can quit. Just make sure they never happen on the same day. And we've had our issues where we've come close to quitting. But our body and our mind were never on the same page. Thank God. I think one of the other things is we just genuinely like each other. We realized pretty early on that we could make this work. This is going to sound probably a little weird. I treat my marriage like a job. It's my job to take care of her. It's my job to provide her with whatever she wants, within reason. And it's my job to make sure that she doesn't have to want for anything. You kind of have to treat your marriage like a job, because you don't show up for work mentally, you're not going to have your job very long. You don't show up to your marriage mentally, you're probably not going to stay married very long. We try to give each other what the other one wants. Every year I go on a fishing trip, but I go to Texas to go largemouth bass fishing. She lets me go. I think that's part of her willingness to give me what I want. We both have the willingness to back down from a fight. We have the willingness to give in to the other one on certain things. But I think some of it is my willingness to do things that I normally wouldn't do. You have to find stuff to keep yourself busy. Especially these next couple of weeks, I'm going to be by myself in the truck. You've got to find a way to keep yourself motivated. So, one of my newest things is cigars. This is what I keep them in. I can fit almost all of those in this Pelican case. There's 15 cigars here in that picture. I've got at least that back at home. And if I can ever talk my beautiful, loving, very understanding, sexy wife, I'm going to get me a bigger humidor at the house. And then use what I have at the house now to be in the truck. Then I'll use this little travel humidor on my motorcycle. You gotta think these things through. So we'll probably hear in about another hour or so. I'm gonna go smoke, enjoy a cigar, and then take the cutter dog out, and then I'm probably gonna turn in.
This week, and possibly next week, who knows, maybe even the week after that, I am not in the truck. Currently, I'm in a laundromat in Texas. So I know that he has done a video about this, but I don't know what the content of that video is. I just know the subject. One of the questions that we get asked on a pretty frequent basis is, how do you guys do it? How do we survive in such a small space 24/7? Honestly, I can't really answer that question in any kind of simple terms. I mean, how is any relationship successful? It's different for everybody. You know, we've got some history. And we've been doing unconventional things for a very long time. And when we first got married, we were with each other 24/7. We worked in the same place. We worked the same shift, you know, so we were together a lot. And then he joined the military, and we were separated for a month and a half at a time. And when he went to school, we were separated for 6 months while I had a small child at home. And then, you know, he came back after we left the military, again, we were together 24/7. And then, he went to trucking, and then again, we were separated for weeks at a time. And now I'm back with him 24/7. I don't know how long this is going to last. How long are we going to be able to tolerate being with each other all the time? I'll tell you a couple of things that we're doing for us that make things easier for us. How's that? The number one key, I think, and I think this is true for all long-term successful committed relationships, communication. You have to talk. If there's something bothering you, you have to be able to bring it up. And it's important that it be not confrontational. Be willing to listen and be willing to talk. Bring those things up. The number two thing is get your finances in order. The number one thing that couples fight about, and the number one reason why they end up getting divorced or separated or whatever, is because of money. When we got married, we decided that it was our money. We had our bank account. And then, I know it sounds kind of juvenile, but we each had an allowance. Money that we were just allowed to spend on whatever we wanted to without question from the other party. We made the agreement that any sort of major purchases, anything over $100, had to be a joint decision. And I think for us, one thing that helps make it easier is that, and we didn't do this a lot in the beginning of my time in the truck, but go adventuring where you are. Part of the draw of this job is being able to see the country in ways that I was never able to before. Because when you have a 9-to-5 job and you have a house and you've got those responsibilities, you have to plan vacations, right? I mean, we all do it, right? I still do. I still plan our vacations. But this job is kind of like being on vacation all of the time. So take advantage of where you are and the time that you have. And if that just means getting out and walking and seeing the neighborhood, then get out and walk and see the neighborhood. Try to find the interesting things that are interesting to both of you. Activities, places to eat, things to go see. It's really fun. And that is probably number 4 for me, is keep things fun. Find fun things to do, things that interest you both, and bring that freshness back into the relationship. I know a lot of people would say that the key to a long and happy relationship is love, and they're not wrong, but love, in my opinion, isn't something that just happens. It may start that way, but it doesn't stay that way. Brian said it pretty well the other day. He said the reason why we work is because we work. And if one person is not willing to put in the work, it won't work. One of the other things for myself that I try to do is I try to minimize the things that I know that he finds annoying. Like, I pop my gum. It's a little thing, but I pop it pretty loud when I'm not in the truck. When I'm in the truck, I don't pop it. I don't pop it loud because I know he doesn't like it. Yeah, I try to minimize those behaviors that I know that he finds annoying, because all that does is add stress to his day, and then that makes him grouchy. And then that makes my day not so much fun either. And I know there's other times, like when he's backing up or when we're in traffic. Those are not good times for me to try to have a conversation with him. I also know that when we're in a high stress situation like that, if he asks me for something, speed is of the essence. And then I just try to be helpful in the situations where I can be. Sometimes that backfires, and sometimes he gets frustrated with me because I've tried to be helpful and I just end up being in the way. I don't think anybody can go through life without experiencing something like that. I mean, ask your mom. Your mom will tell you if you ever tried to be helpful and got in the way instead. Does he afford me the same thing? I don't know. I would have to say yes, because I don't really find him that annoying on a day-to-day basis. You just do the best you can with what you got. I think for us, at least, one of the reasons why we're successful doing what we're currently doing is, and I know he almost hates it when I say this, but I say we have an exit plan. When we first started seriously discussing me coming out on the road, making like serious committed plans, whenever he came home, he would park the truck in front of the house, and then we would go sit in the truck and talk about how we wanted to set things up and how I thought, life was going to be like. We also made plans for what do we do if we get seriously aggravated with each other, because we're not willing to put our relationship on the line. Things will only go so far before I get off the truck. But what does that mean? One option that we have is I can be dropped at an airport or at a car rental or hell, a train station for all of that, and get home for a temporary. If it seems like it's going to be more serious, that, okay, this isn't working and it's not ever going to work, then, we've talked about the possibility of getting an apartment again. And I think that was an important thing for me coming into the truck, is that I knew that if things got to be too much to handle for either one of us, we had a plan for me to go somewhere. Another frequent question that comes up is, do you drive? No, I don't drive. Then that's almost always immediately followed up with, well, you probably do the paperwork like a secretary, right? And the answer to that is also no. I suppose that is one of our keys to success. I don't know, it works for us. There's a clear division of labor. His job, he is employed by Schuster Co. Whatever it is that he did before I came on the truck, he still does. That's his job. That's what he gets paid for. I cook, I clean, I take care of the dogs. I keep him entertained while we're going down the road. I read news stories, make personal phone calls. I'm the one who makes all the appointments for the dentist and the doctor and that sort of thing. And I'm also the one who, I budget our money and make sure that we have it going where it needs to go, and, that sort of thing. So that's my job. And that's how I pay for the privilege of being in the truck. We always say that this life isn't for everybody. It's not. Could you be successful at it? Absolutely. Absolutely. You just have to be willing to put in the work. So, I don't know. Give us your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think you could do this? Is it something that you're interested in doing? We're always open to taking questions. If you want to DM us on our Facebook page, we're always open to taking questions. And, trying to help people as best we can. We're not professionals. We're not experts. We're just two people out here doing the best we can with what we got. So, thanks for sticking around. We'll see you. Bye.